What's up? What's up? What's up, fans family? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, the real Miami Dolphin fans. So glad to be live with you all this morning. We got March the 12th, 2020. With all these coronavirus worries going on, we have our own worries with the Miami Dolphins. It is official. It is official. It is official. We do need a brand new center now. It is official, ladies and gentlemen. The Miami Dolphins do not have a center. We have decided to move on from Daniel Kilgore. They will be releasing him. I thought he was still a very valuable piece. He is a veteran. I understand that we do want to move to getting younger and younger, but I thought that he was a valuable piece that they might have held on to. But I also warned you all yesterday. I literally told you, watch out for Daniel Kilgore as well. He's one individual that they may decide, hey, let's go ahead and keep our $3.5 million since we do want to get young at a position anyway. And I'm going to break down why I think that this is happening. But before I do, I want to recognize the comment section. So for all those who are here, hit that like button. Shout out to Engraven Vids. Wow, Engraven, the first one in the building, man. He started out with Here We Go. Yes, sir. Let's get it done, homie. Big morning. Perfect timing. Good morning, my guys. Shout out to you, homie, man. I'm glad to see you with us this morning. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Hey, man, Engraven, don't be looking at Kilgore, man. Engraven over here thinking, okay, we got another option. There's some depth. Go ahead and bring in Kilgore. Listen, man, the Ravens got what they need. They just need to get over the hump. All right. But no, Kilgore was a great piece. The veteran, the leader. He was the leader in the locker room. I know some of you all may have not heard the stories, but you know I'm up on all that type of stuff. He was the leader. He was a good leader in the locker room. Players respected, and he actually did lead, not just by example, but vocally and everything, teaching these young guys as best as he could. The coaches raved about it, but as you all can see, it doesn't matter about the ravings, guys. They have a vision of what type of team they want to build. And let me let you know why they released him. Here's my thoughts, okay? We could have very well kept him. We would not have lost if we kept this man, okay? We would have not have lost. It would have still been a good opportunity, okay? It would have been, hey, we still got Kilgore. He can either start or he could be great depth. We don't mind him starting, but if we do bring in a replacement, he could be a really good depth just in case of injuries. So we wouldn't have lost either way. But here's where the issue comes. We were obviously going to find his replacement via free agency or the draft. And it looked like it was gearing towards the draft in a later round to find Kilgore's replacement. The issue with that is the fact that if we're already knowing that we have to replace him in a year or two anyway because of his age, then whoever we replace him with, we need to go ahead and throw him in day one like we did these kids last year and see see what we have. So we don't listen. Kilgore was expendable. We already know that. But at the same token, $3.5 million, let's go ahead and grab a young guy and maybe get somebody in free agency younger, but still versatile. And we'll go from there. That's what I think it really was. That's what I really do think it was. Because again, this isn't a case where, oh, thank God we got rid of him. We talk about $3.5 million with a player who was worth it. Let's get that straight. We're talking about $3.5 million to a player who was worth it, but he's also not in our long-term plans. And to be honest with you, they needed to do this for him. He can go make $3 million plus somewhere else at his age, and it'll be a contending team because the only type of team that wants to put their hand on him right now is a team who knows that they're in contention for it all, and they want to bring a starting caliber person in for $3 million, and it either be depth. So this was good for him too. He gets an opportunity to go to a team that will be competing, may even have an opportunity to still start. See, he's the type of player that the Patriots will pick up because they know that it's going to be cheap dollars and he's starter material. Y'all already know I do my research on the Patriots too. When they spend less than $20 million on the offensive line per year, And what makes it even worse, they spend less than $25 million on the offensive line 7-8 consecutive years. You can't find a single year in the last 8 years the New England Patriots spent more than $25 million a year on their O-line, when the league average is 30. Actually 34, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go look it up again, at least the update this year. League average 34 million. In every single year they've spent less than 25. Patriots got advantages all on their roster typically. Last year, I don't know what it was. I didn't check it out, but y'all know I did my research before that. There's something to be said about that. He's that type of guy that plugs holes like that. He's the type of guy that the Chiefs think about. He's the type of guys that the Seahawks think about. He's the type of guy that the Cowboys, all the teams that feel like they're a few pieces away. $3 million. The teams that only have 30 million right now anyway, and they go get one big piece, and now they need about 4 other little pieces. Kilgore is one of those type of pieces. TD, you definitely called this move. I didn't call it. I said look out for it because I could see it happening. I didn't call it. Now, if I said, oh, we're going to let Kilgore go, that's different. That's calling it. I didn't call it. I just said, watch out for this one because it can very well happen. Shout out to Dougley Durong in the building. He said, what's up, brother? I predict Wilson is next. What do you think? I think it's inevitable that Wilson is next, or it's not. And if it's not, that means the Miami Dolphins and Albert Wilson has reached a restructure of his deal. But I don't know how that'll work. They would have to cut him and restructure. They can't just restructure the current deal. Or maybe they can. Maybe they'll say, hey, keep the same money. We'll increase it to 15 and we'll do a 3-year contract and only 1 year guaranteed. That's what's going to happen. If there is a restructure, it'll be a case where, all right, we can't restructure you by saying 2-year, 10 million when right now we got you at 11.5 million pretty much. So, but only 1 million, 1.5 million is guaranteed or something like that. So we could save about $10 million. So they'll probably do, if they value him that much to where they want to keep him, you're going to hear the Miami Dolphins come out and say, we have just signed Albert Wilson to a 3-year, $15 million restructured deal. $5 million guaranteed. Maybe 6 or 7, just so he feels good about the deal and say, if we cut you, you at least get a check of $1 million or $2 million that you're walking out the door with. That's how that typically works. So when you see those players who have a 3-year, $27 million deal, but they only guarantee 13, it's because they want to pay you for 1 full year. And if they don't want to pay you the very next year, they still are helping you out by giving you $3-4 million that they owed you in guaranteed money on your transition to another team, because it might not be as easy to find one or whatever it may be. If Albert Wilson gone, we definitely drafting a receiver. We're drafting a receiver anyway. We got 14 picks. We're drafting a receiver anyway. That's going to happen anyway. Let me say this, guys. This is why I'm actually leaning closer and closer and closer towards the fact that we're going to pick 12 picks. We got 14 picks. I could see us moving up once or twice, but we're going to pick about 12 players. I mean, there's a part of me that feel like we're going to pick 14. Let me tell you, but I know that early in those rounds, we might try to move up a few spaces and stuff in like number 18 or number 26 or even one of the second rounders to get a guy we really want. That's why I think 2 of those picks might be leveraged to move up. Not at 5, because if that happens, I'm not happy. But here's what I think. I think that we're going to pick as many players as possible because people have to understand how we even came about getting these picks. We got a 7th round pick at 227. That was the Evan Bones part of that trade via Indy. That was a swap. Remember. Kansas City gave us a 7th round pick. We got a comp pick in 7th. And we did that intentionally. When we traded these guys, we were hoping for the comp pick. Not just the fact of trading them. We had an opportunity to trade for them and get comp picks. We're coming closer and closer to free agency. And I know we're still thinking about the draft with these picks and things like this, but man, this Kilgore move, guys, it gives a huge revelation. It tells us we're empty in the middle, and that's going to be a priority. Think about it. You think now they're going to go in the 4th round and say, here's our starting center day one in the NFL? It can work out that way, but you think that that's really a game plan? No. There will be a pick dedicated in the first 2 rounds for a center. I don't see him going in the 3rd round and saying this is our day one starter. I don't see it. So at the end of the day, I think that they will dedicate to this position now. If it's free agency, we're spending a little bit of money on it. If it's the draft, first 2 rounds. There goes one of our picks, y'all. It ain't going to be the 5th pick. I'm not sure if we'd be picking a center at number 18. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that one. But number 26, don't count it out. The first, 2nd round pick and number 39, don't count it out. I'm not even sure they want to use the 56th pick from the Saints to get your day one starting center. So my range is number 26 and number 39, maybe a center. Now, EM Dolphin fans just said they are apparently targeting the center from New England, allegedly. I also think Dieter is a real option. I like the Dieter thing, but we still don't know. So that's what I'm saying. There can't be a plan today. It's an option for them, not a plan. Dieter is an option, not a plan. Now, we can go with that option and it works out, then, hey, good. We executed the plan of that being an option that worked out. Now, yeah, we good now. But I'm more inclined to believe the Patriots talk. The Patriots center. Watch out for that. I'm glad you said that, Ian, because here's why. When you make a move like this, we might, if we're getting a center in free agency and we already know who we want, we've already talked to him then. We ain't supposed to. But we done already talked to him. We already know who we're going to get. They already know that we coming to get him. And on the 18th, we're going to get some ink done. They're going to be inking on that line. If it's in free agency. But don't tell me we going into free agency with, man, we're going to hope to get that guy and you just let Dieter go. You could have still let Dieter go after the fact. Well, I got to look at the details of the contract. When is it fully guaranteed? Is it fully guaranteed the day of the season starting? Or I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Man. So I like that option of going after New England center. And I sure hope they already know they're going to get him and he knows we're going to get him and he already know how much money we're going to pay him. Whatever that is that they've already talked about. These things happen. I'm not going to sit here and be naive and act like, oh, no, everything's by the book. That's not possible. Some things I can look at that way. But in this case, I feel very confident that if we are trying to get New England center, well, I feel confident that if it turns out that we got New England center, we already knew today. Today, we knew that. We already knew that. All right. TD, you should put the link for your other channel in your description. You're right, Dred. I'll do that today. Y'all go check me out at TD Sports Talk. I just got off of there going live about this NBA stuff, man. Y'all want to go check out that and some more insight and detail about all kind of stuff in regards to it. So if y'all want to go check out the other channel, TD Sports Talk. Okay, TD Sports Talk. All right, I'm live over there throughout the day as well. All sports. Jazz star has virus. Donovan Mitchell, breaking news, is the second NBA player to test positive per reports. Whoa. Breaking news, y'all. Donovan Mitchell, second NBA player, just tested positive for coronavirus. Just came out. And he was a Jazz player. And didn't they play last night when we announced this? Yeah, y'all got to go check out TD Sports Talk channel. We just got through talking about all this. How Rudy Gobert played 6 teams in the last 2 weeks and could have had it all that time. Man, this virus is impacting, man. This is crazy. Rudy Gobert, breaking news, second NBA player to test positive. Just played last night, didn't he? Maybe, man. I got to make sure, man. That's why you have to cancel the season, TD. Yeah, you're right. Now the season might be at jeopardy. It ain't 1 player, it's 2 now. And now I feel like when they test them all, them numbers might, NBA players are probably called, oh my God, they might be getting called in right now. All players to be quarantined. Because think about the 6 teams Rudy Gobert has played in the last 2 weeks. The 6 teams that the other Donovan Mitchell done played in the last 2 weeks. And the man played last night on the court, Donovan Mitchell, against the Thunder. Chris Paul reading that report right now like, man, I was guarding this guy. Oh, my gosh. This is crazy, man. This, oh, my gosh. This can bleed into, oh, no, it was the Mavs game that played last night. You're right. I think that game did get canceled. You're right. Wait. Hold on. So that means they're on the same team? 2 guys on the same team? Oh, my gosh. See? What y'all have to understand is that whole team is being quarantined right now because they live with each other, man. They live with each other. 9 cases in Arizona. Just learned that this morning. 9 cases in Arizona. 1 is a family of 4. All 4 of them got it out of the 9. All 4 of them out of the 9 people in Arizona are in one family. And these basketball players live with each other. We're talking about 2 weeks of travel, 6 games in 2 weeks. They're on the road, hotels. Dreadlock said they in the arena now, can't leave. I told people that this morning on my Sports Talk channel. I said I wouldn't be surprised if those players aren't still in the arena and they're going to be there for 2 weeks. Rudy should be in the bubble. Huh. Rudy and Donovan Mitchell and others possibly. People fixing to start catching it. I'm telling you. Look at this. Now it's coming through the ESPN. Breaking news. Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell tests positive for coronavirus. Teammates say Rudy Gobert has been careless in the locker room. Oh, my gosh. Man, you got to feel even worse if you're Rudy Gobert thinking it was a game and now all of a sudden you're infecting other people. Oh my gosh. No WrestleMania in April. Everything might get shut down. But I told people on the All Sports channel this morning, I recognize the fact that 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. With that being said, this is a bigger thing than people realize. This can actually cause companies to shut down for a period of time because they don't want the liability of knowing that it can spread so bad and them not putting their employees in the best position possible and possibly getting sued. So save your money now before those type of things start to take place if it does spread, because it's real. Mark Cuban's a stand-up guy. He's willing to pay the people who are going to lose out in money in the organization, like the day-to-day people, figure out ways to still pay them. But every company isn't going to do that if that happens, y'all. Every company is not like that. Some of them are struggling as it is. They can't afford to do things like that. So take care of yourselves. Protect yourselves first and foremost with your health, making sure you don't contract it. And after that, think about your family and in the long term and in the future, because things happen. This can get a lot worse before it gets better. People don't understand how world economics work in this regard, and this can really get bad. Companies start to shut down, close down until they get a control over it. People losing money, crime goes up, loitering, riots. I mean, people are like, oh, TD, you ain't got to go that far in mass hysteria. This is how it works. This is why this is why the government's job to avoid these things at all costs. Because all I have to do is tell you, when people ain't got money coming into the house and they can't afford to eat and pay their bills and do things like that, they change. You put somebody in survival mode, they're going to survive. And they're going to do things that they won't be proud of. So you just got to remember that. This is real. And I've been blessed in my lifetime to never have to experience that. But this is what goes on in other countries. This is why they call them third world countries. They have nothing now because of moments like this got so out of control that when it just gets crazy. It gets crazy. And a lot of people, the younger people today, some would consider me younger. I'm 35. But a lot of the younger people today in their 20s, and they wouldn't even fathom that as a possibility. Honestly, people my age and older wouldn't fathom that as a possibility because they never had to experience it in this country. And that's one of the good things about this country. No matter what you don't like, that's one of the good things. But it's a possibility. It is a possibility. The stock market is dropping like crazy. What you got to understand about the stock market, it's all about people. When people stop moving, money stops moving. Money stops moving. People get scared that they're losing money, so they take their money and the market keeps going down. When money's not moving, it's not a good thing for any country. It's not a good thing for any country, man. So that's why they're trying their best to keep a handle over this. Some people only think about the medical aspect of this, but it changes from medical all the way to real life when your employer says we're sending everyone home and we'll let you know details further notice. Now it ain't about the health scare. It's about, are we getting paid? We'll let you know the details once we know more. Where do you think we'll get paid? We'll know the details once we know more. How long is this going to be? We'll let you know the details once we know more. And people think they're immune to that type of stuff. No. This gets bad enough, that's exactly what could happen. Okay? I don't know the future. I know I'm going to be straight because of who I serve. That's just my personal faith. But I just want y'all to think about that type of stuff. Save what you can now. Get you some resources now. It may be for nothing or it may be for everything. It may be for nothing or it may be for everything. You know, so at the end of the day, man, this guy said, right, dude, smoke one, chill. Listen, man. I just hope that none of this actually takes place. But it's serious, man. This is real talk. This is real talk. People don't understand. People do not understand. Again, we got 350 million Americans in this country. When money stops moving, we already got a homelessness problem. When money stops moving and people need to eat, things can turn fast. Things can turn fast. And I'm trying my best not to even go into crazy detail because things can change fast. Some people don't even understand the possibility of how they can change. So just be safe. Be safe. Number one, protect your family and put your family in the best position you can. That's all you can do. All right. But yeah, Kilgore's out of there. Coronavirus causing its issues. And hopefully we get to a better day. But it's still a bright day, baby. It's still a bright day. It might even be canceling the NFL draft. Might even be canceling the NFL draft. Heard something this morning that said they may be calling in the draft picks. I think Reason was telling me that this morning, if I'm not mistaken. They might be calling in the draft picks and stuff. And people done spent money on the draft already. And I'm going to be honest. I'm getting to a point now where I want to go to the draft regardless. But I'm like, oh my gosh. And if it is getting worse, I can't be putting myself at risk like that just because. No, I ain't that crazy. Right now, I'm going to the draft. But at the end of the day, if rubber meets the road and it's getting worse, I couldn't see myself actually, if it's getting worse, I couldn't see myself taking that chance. I really couldn't. But as of right now, I'm going to the draft. Just saying. Bro, I wouldn't risk that. Man, I'm going to the draft. The reason why I say that, I'm not saying it for that. It's not a pandemic as far as a spreading standpoint, it's not a pandemic worse than the flu right now. It's spreading, but what's making it worse is that the media is telling you every case that spreads. 9 people have it in Arizona. Right now, 2,000 people have the flu in Arizona. Very positive about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. The media letting you know about every single case all on every screen, plus this NBA situation and people canceling stuff. It does give it an extra boost, but I understand why it does. I'm starting to feel more and more understanding of why it's better to freak out now about it than later, because you want to try to minimize it now versus if it does become a big issue, people, that you do care, that you do put it out there early enough that this is crazy. Right now is how they're acting if it was a real pandemic. But at the same token, it could very well be one like that. So TD, always be mindful of what they're not telling us. No, I agree. You always do have to be mindful about what they're not telling us. I agree. I'm also taking a close look at other countries as well to make sure it lines up with what our country's telling us too. Because it's interesting that China is actually, they had the worst of it starting out, but now they're starting to open certain things back up and stuff like that. So it's just something that you got to watch and keep yourself educated on. EM, you have some good stocked up for at least a week. Man, EM ready, man. He got the whole pantry stacked. He got the tool closet stacked. Everything, man. Who already said it was a pandemic? Who already said it was a pandemic? No one that I know of. I'm saying if it did become one. Yo, Kilgore out already. Another wasted Greer. I don't pass that. Hold on. Another wasted Greer junk move. We are doomed. Pete, stop that mess, man. Kilgore played well for us, man. It wasn't a wasted pick. We weren't winning anyway, and he's out of here now. I'll be safe, Aaron. Everyone be safe for the coronavirus and take care of your loved ones. I agree. Stay away from playing. Yeah, I know. I'm actually about to hit the road with my sons tomorrow. So we're not flying. We're going to be driving, but still just got to keep everybody safe, keep them in the car until we get to Dallas. TD, always be mindful of what they're not. Oh, I already read that. Yeah, I'm moving Gordon to number 3 on my QB big board. Done. Wow. The virus will hit everywhere. Any efforts to stop it are 2 weeks behind the virus. Thanks for being optimistic, Sean. I mean, if it does hit everywhere, at the end of the day, again, just sit back, make sure you protect your family, and go shopping. Go get some food and stuff in the house. Go get some cases of water in the house, and then if things start to get crazy, no, I ain't gonna talk like this because it's gonna make like I'm doing an emergency preparedness. I ain't gonna speak that into existence. 5 is too high for Herbert Love. I don't know if we go both. What are we talking to him? Rashad is the last Tony Sperano pick. Yeah, if you think about it, this whole roster is gone, man. We got a whole new roster. Do we have anyone that's been on this roster more than 5 years right now? Is there anyone who's been on the roster more than 5 years? Anyone? I don't know. Any player been on this roster more than 5 years? Got to clean and healthy. Toilet paper is about to be sold on eBay for $100 a roll. It may not be sold on eBay because you may not be delivering stuff soon. Bleached the house yesterday. Wow. Called it. The World Health Organization called it a pandemic. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is, but in the U.S., I wouldn't consider it that. In other parts of the world, it's becoming one. Parker been here 5 years, man. McCain, okay, clean house. I love it. We got a clean house, though. That's the point I was making. We officially have a clean house now. Shaw Jones gone. We have a clean house. What y'all have to understand is we clean house in 2 years. It only took 2 years to clean house. Every single player. It took 2 years. 2 years, man. This started 2 years ago when I started this channel. I remember everybody was crying about Jay Landry. What's his name again? The center, Pouncey. And I mean, we were crying about everybody. I said, guys, we're cleaning house. You're going to have one wave now. Next year, you'll have the next wave. And then you'll have probably 2 or 3 people left over that you're done with. I said this 2 years ago. When I first started this channel, I said, we're about to clean house. Here's the first wave. People got mad. And this was when this channel was young, y'all. 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers. People got mad at me. We're moving on from Landry. Why would we move on from Landry? Blah, 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 blah. That's stupid. I had to keep educating people on why it was a smart move. It was a smart move for us to do it, y'all. It was a smart move for us to get rid of Ajayi. How was this? Blah, blah, blah. Pouncey, too many knee issues. It's time to move on. Then the next year, told y'all Cam Wake's coming to an end. Kenny Stills, Kiko. That was the next wave. Then I predicted the Tunsil. I always had him as part of the future, but I predicted it because during your rebuild, you're going to be wasting 3 years of his most valuable parts of his future, and he'll be getting paid the most money at that time. He'd have been getting paid the most money at that time. That's why I saw that coming. Still didn't believe it was going to happen, though. I'm going to tell you that now. I was like, but you keep a guy like that. But I could see it. Just like the Kilgore move I told y'all yesterday. I mean, they may keep him, but just watch out for it. That's how I felt about the Tunsil thing. Just watch out for it. Y'all know if y'all been here since the beginning of the season this year, you know how many subscribers we lost, how many arguments in the comment section we had, how, bro, I followed you since day one, but now you're tripping. I'm out of here. Y'all know how many people said that. And what did they do? Now it's Kilgore, it's Rashad Jones, and Albert Wilson. Either he's out of here or restructured. And y'all think I keep on bringing up this Xavier Howard for nothing? Time will tell. Time will tell. King and Drake, told y'all. But now, I can't tell y'all no more. Outside of possibly the Albert Wilson situation and the Xavier Howard situation, it ain't much I could tell you because the house is clean now. And I know what it takes to clean a house. That's why I knew everybody who was possibly gone. The house is clean now. Now we have to study how are they trying to build this team? Because you can't predict who we're going to pick and why we're going to pick them if we don't know what vision they have for the team in the first place. That's why I listen to all their interviews. They ain't giving us much right now. They're not giving us much right now. But eventually we'll have enough information to know how they want to build a team. This is what they're looking for. So if they want to run the base 3-4, then EM is right. They need to have that anchor in the middle so we can start to determine what positions are important for them in a multi-set defense or complex offense. And I'm constantly studying that so that I can make educated guesses on what we're about to do next. What we're about to do next. How that's going to look. But based off of the move today, we do know that center is a priority. Conventional wisdom would tell you they're not looking for their starting center in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th round. They're either going to spend a 1st or 2nd round pick on a guy who they feel like they can mold into being a starting center day one, or they're going in free agency and getting someone that isn't old, isn't very young, but at the same token, right in the middle of that time frame that let's roll. That's why I'm in favor of the Patriots center, because he also knows the style. He knows what Flores is going to be looking for. And he has that pedigree, obviously. Obviously. So we shall see, man. We shall see. Remember the Satil for Grove trade, LOL. We will see what happens in the NFL draft picks 2020. Yes, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Only thing that has the fan base up in arms and nervous is the quarterback situation and the O-line situation. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Our fans listen, I'm convinced now. I know everybody knows that we need it, but my biggest concern with our fan base is we're not putting enough emphasis on how bad we need a pass rusher, an elite pass rusher. We need that bad. An elite pass rusher. You have to realize we've already seen the days of a good offense and the defense sucked. We've seen it. Everybody's chasing offense. We got to get that quarterback. We got to get that running game. We got to do blah, 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 blah. But our main problem on defense, remember the problem in defense didn't used to be the D-line. It used to be the secondary. We sucked so much in the secondary for so many years. We wasted 2 draft picks. We got Vontae Davis and Sean Smith. I like those kids. They were young. I think that we moved on a little too early. They did play a little bit better when they left, but then their careers still weren't long. They still didn't have long careers. But I remember that era. We sucked in that area. Then we tried to bring in Brent Grimes. We've tried, man. We've had our go at it. We know that we've sucked at the secondary. And then when we finally get decent in the secondary, our pass rushers are gone. This isn't Wake in his prime anymore. You know, this isn't all those type of guys, Porter and all of them. I mean, I remember. We're not there anymore. So while we have up and coming secondary and Xavier Howard and Nick Needham, and we're going to probably get another stud addressed in free agency or the draft, while we're there, we cannot forget we need that edge rusher. We need that. Okay. Shout out to Tammy. Terrico said, let's talk about how this man's skin makes me lubricate. Oh my gosh. Lord. Our middle linebacker gonna be good. Well, we hope so. We sure hope so. Miami Dolphins need Patriots killer. Man, Mr. Miami 305, that's all you care about. Miami Dolphins needing Patriot killer. Here we go. We're looking for a safety and O-line and draft, possibly draft/free agency. Yeah. Safety, I agree. O-line in the draft, possibly free agency, I agree. But still, that leaves out our pass rusher. That leaves out the need for our pass rusher. Yeah, he has a lot to like about. There are things that need big improvements. Oh, I'd have missed the comment. We need killers, period. I agree. There you go. We need linebacker and secondary help bad. Finish EM Miami Dolphins. Listen, this is what we need. Here's the reality. This is what we need. We do need a good center to anchor that middle. That's a given. You do not want a bad center. I know most people don't even put a lot of merit on the position, but you don't want a bad center. You're not against these elite defensive tackles in this league. You want a real solid center. You don't want that to be a liability, okay? We need a right tackle. We're going to have a right tackle. I really do think that they can groom Davenport to become a good left tackle, but he's not ready, nor do I think he will be ready at the next year to be that guy either. I think he's a case because he has the profile. I think he's a case of get this guy 2-3 years and then you can plug him in as your starter. But right now we need to go ahead and bring in a veteran at the position at the left tackle. I want a veteran, one fresh off of their rookie deal. So, and you're going to have to pay him. We understand that. We planned on paying Tunsil too. Y'all have to remember, we were going to pay Tunsil. We just got an offer we couldn't refuse. So don't forget that. Keep that. But y'all remember, we had already allocated money to pay Tunsil. He was going to be one of the highest paid. So I don't see why that would change. If the left tackle is elite out there and he's available, the Miami Dolphins, I believe, will spend the money on that position. Okay? So, and I think if they do it, they need to do it now, and here's why. If you are going to groom a guy like Davenport or somebody else, I don't know, but you need that groomed guy behind him. If you are going to groom him, you want him to sit behind this veteran for 2 years, and then after 2 years, the way you set that veteran contract up with that big money, you can let him go and push Davenport into that spot and find his replacement to develop. You got to think that way. Or keep the left tackle that we paid all the money to for 3 years if we have to. You know, but at the same token, the guy probably ain't going to make it 5 years through his contract unless we're winning Super Bowls back to back to back and it's all working and we don't have to spend extra money, X, Y, and Z. He's not going to make it to the 5th year of his big contract, the left tackle. So that's what the plan would be for me. Guards, I don't get myself too involved with. Go ahead in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. Find you some guards, coach them up, because we're relying on the coaching staff, and get it done. Or all those guys we already got, they should be getting better coming into this season. You should be able to make a good line hiring a veteran top left tackle, getting a really good center, and spending third, fourth, and fifth round picks, maybe 1 second, on an O lineman, and figuring out those other 3 positions. And if you don't, and maybe you do go in free agency and you go ahead and get you a guard. I'm not opposed to that too. But we gotta go into this season with 2 to 3 spots solidified. Right now we have 0. Kilgore is gone. Dieter's gonna be the left guard, but come on, Dieter still got to get better. Dieter got to get better. I like Dieter actually, but if that's the finished product, I'll pass. Still got to get better. We have 0 guarantees. So when we finish the draft in preseason, in the draft and free agency, excuse me. When we finish these 2 things, we got to have 2 that we know of solidified. I really want to say 3, but I want to be fair and reasonable. We got a long way to go here. It ain't like it's going to happen tomorrow. So we got to have 2 of those things solidified. We got to find a premier back. And I want it to be a young guy. I want it to be in the draft. I want number 26 to be a running back. Or if one of those guys fall enough to 39, I want that to be a running back. I would love for that to be a running back. That's a guy who we feel like should be a day 1 starter if he beats out Laird and Balazs. I want that to be the case. And if he doesn't beat him out, then hey, we know that we're developing that guy to be the back eventually. Wide receiving core, it is what it is. We got to see what happens with Albert Wilson. That's number 1. And number 2, we're going to draft a wide receiver anyway. It's going to happen regardless. All those picks, if they can find Preston Williams, you don't think in this draft, in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, they're not going to say that guy right there? That guy right there? Come on, man. We'll find a receiver. We're going to find a receiver or 2. Quarterback situation, we need our future quarterback, or to at least know who we view as possibly being that. The only issue the Miami Dolphins have right now is that we don't know. Faith isn't highest on Rosen, but they're going to give him a shot. Faith isn't high on Ruddock, but they like what he's been doing. Faith is high on Fitzpatrick, but it's only short term. We have to find the long-term faith. Long-term faith in the guy. That's who we got to roll with. We got to find that. The only difference is we argue about whether that needs to be this year or next year, or free agency or draft, or whatever all that stuff is. Long as it happens by the end of 2021, we're good. If we still don't know who our guy is for the future by 2021, the end of it, man, we got problems. But that's our offense, y'all. That's what you need. Your quarterback of the future, a premier running back, two guaranteed pieces on the O-line right now, 2 to 3. I'm going to stick with 2 because I think that this coaching staff can work out the other guys and figure it out. We need another receiver, young and up and coming. We need to always keep a young and up and coming receiver in the pipe hole. Look how many years we had Isaiah Ford sitting there. People forget, even guys like Grant, Jakeem Grant, been riding with us for quite some time now. It's just that he's had a role, but he's no longer the young guy on the team. Isaiah Ford is coming into no longer being the young guy on the team. That's Preston Williams now, but you at least want two or three. One of them on the practice squad, two of them on the roster. Keep them funneling until you find a 10-year guy. Until you find a 10-year guy. So the offense, that's what you need. You need another tight end. I ain't even bring that up. You need another tight end. Not just a run blocking one, not just a catcher, a good tight end. A good tight end. People underestimate what a good tight end gets you. A good tight end is making your run game better. A good tight end is being a threat in the passing game. A good tight end is providing extra protection for the quarterback, picking up blitzes. Impacting the game in so many ways. That's your offense. And on defense, we need a nose tackle. One who is literally an anchor, y'all. Shout out to Ink Raven. He said, ask the Ravens about good tight ends. But yeah, having good tight ends help a lot. Absolutely. When you come to that defensive tackle position, man, that anchor, here's where I'm conflicted. I understand all the stuff of we need a real anchor up the middle and put Godchild on one side and put Christian Wilkins on the other side. I agree with that, but the way that we build a defense, I hate that it relies on one person in so many ways. Having an anchor in the middle, and if that anchor goes down, you're right back to what you had. This is why I'm concerned. Like, even last year, we ran some 3-4 technique where maybe we should have been in a 4-3 in some of those sets. Because we didn't have the actual official anchor, that guy in the middle that isn't getting moved, that's actually creating penetration. Christian Wilkins did great on tackling. But I didn't like the lack of push. And EM took the words out of my mouth. The only time I saw a real push is when Jenkins was in the game. But the problem is, I don't think Jenkins isn't, he's going to be free, I thought. He's going to be free. And then look at his age. What was that? And then if you look at his age, so it scared me because it's like, if you know you don't have that real anchor in the middle last year on certain plays, then maybe we should have been in the 4-3 in certain situations. Obvious rundowns and stuff. If you don't have the real anchor. But that's just football philosophy, man. But if we're actually going to be getting an anchor and we're putting Christian Wilkins on the outside and Godchild on the other side, I'm all for that. But then in the 3-4, those ends or linebackers, I don't know. I just love defenses where those guys are all on the line of scrimmage. They're all on the line of scrimmage. I agree. Tight end draft class really ain't all that. Well, we know that. It would have to take a trade or something for the right tight end. That's what I think. But anyway, we got to anchor that defensive line, man, and we got to get a pass rush as well, a legitimate pass rusher, one who's pinning his ears back, coming after the quarterback. We have to, man. And in the secondary, we need a starter. We need to be pursuing a starter. But TD, we already got 2 starters, Nick Needham and Xavier Howard. Both of them aren't guaranteed right now. Nick Needham did it, and I like his Twitter handle or Instagram, whatever one I saw it on. Now I had to do it again to prove him that it wasn't just a fluke. Something like that he put up. And I like that. I love that he put that up. I loved when I saw him put that up. But the reality is he's right. Now you got to go do it again, though. I can't sit here and put a crown on your head until that's done. You can come out here this year and look like a bum and be like, oh, man. I'm just saying. And I'm the optimistic guy. I think he will get it done. But, that's just fanhood there. But if we talking real, we don't know. And Xavier Howard, forget the off the field stuff. Let's talk football. We don't know. This man getting his knee scoped and doing all this stuff. You don't know what you're going to get out there on the field. And don't give me that Tua talk with Xavier Howard. Well, they say he's fully recovered. He should be fine. Stop. You don't know how these things work with injuries. You can be just fine, but it still can be impactful. One moment, y'all. What's up, baby? I'm about to wrap this up and then I'll call. Okay. Bye-bye. My bad. I got a business phone call in about 5 minutes. But yeah, man, listen, Xavier Howard, you don't know. You don't know what he's going to be on that field. We all hope he's going to be Pro Bowl Xavier Howard using that athleticism to go up and grab interceptions back to his prime. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We all hope that happens. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We have no clue. So I want a day one starting corner. And now I feel even better. Let me tell you why. Now you have competition at the position. Now you have competition at the position. Competition. Why would we be good with handing Nick Needham and Xavier Howard the keys anyway with no competition? You don't think Nick Needham going to really be giving his 1,000% knowing that, hey, I did well next year and I got an opportunity, but I could be replaced. They just drafted a first-round corner. They just got a corner in free agency and gave him good money. But I did so well last year that I know I can overcome this and I can be the starter. Let that guy fight with X or make him trade X. I don't know. Nick Needham ain't finna run from them drafting somebody, or I don't see that in his character. I think he's gonna actually fight for it and be that guy. But you need that environment and that atmosphere. And I'm gonna be honest, why I really want that atmosphere. That's why I don't mind them bringing in a Byron Jones or somebody, because who's going to sit here and think that Xavier Howard is going to be guaranteed to start just because he comes back healthy? You bring in that next guy. We talk about Brian Flores. Now we know we're going to get the best of Xavier Howard too. Now we know, is he going to Rashad Jones us, or are we going to get the best of him? He's on a contract year. And I explained to y'all what that meant yesterday of him being on a contract year. Technically he's not, but technically he is when you look at the money. They can let him go after this year and no love lost and lose no more money. So this is a contract year. He's fighting from this point on to keep his contract every year after this year. X is a beast. Don't hate TD. He can be a beast, but everything I said was a fact. I didn't say he sucked. I didn't say that once. I just said you want to get this guy competition right now. And don't make him feel like he can come back and just, I'm X. Respect what I did in the past, even if it doesn't produce for the future. No, we don't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that, man. You got to hold him accountable. Make sure that he's going to be giving his best game. And with your best game now with those injuries, is it better than whoever we bring in? Is it better than Needham? I ain't saying Needham is near neck X, but at the same token, you don't know what you're going to get after this. You don't know what you're going to get. So we got to get better at that position too. The corner position. We got to bring in a solidified guy. Safety position, we're going to bring in a safety, and I think we'll be fine. They're going to figure out a way on that, even if it's they're moving guys around. They have some guys who can be real productive at the position. Now, Bobby, Eric Rowe, all of that has to be decided, and possibly bringing in another guy. But my biggest puzzle in my head, the biggest puzzle I have in my head is the linebacking position. I feel like we don't know enough about none of the guys we have, including Raekwon. Raekwon gonna be here, and he's great. You know what I mean. He's a guy. But I feel like we don't know enough about any of our linebacking core. Let's not forget, guys, we got a linebacking core that all we've ever noticed has been them overcompensating. Adam Gase in this Matt Burke trash defense, we can't see what these linebackers can truly do because they got to sell out on the run. Because Matt Burke can't figure out a way to get the front four to tighten up in that wide nine. Or we in a passing situation, they automatically playing pass and it's a run. Like our coaches had us so off balance. The other team didn't have us off balance. Our coaches did. That's the worst. You're playing against yourself. The whole year, 2 years ago, Tannehill's last season, I watched the defense who would always put 4 defensive linemen against 7 and 8 offensive linemen every single play. And then when they finally start challenging at the point of contact more on the D-line, 5 on the D-line, 6 on the D-line, things got better. But we waited to week 15 or 16 to do it. Same thing happened last year with Flores and I don't know why. Why did our defensive coordinators, our old defensive coordinator, now his name just flew right in my mind and out. Gosh, I'm literally forgetting this man's name. Our defensive coordinator last year, not Burt. How am I forgetting this man's name? I say it almost every day. Oh my gosh, Graham, Patrick Graham. I'm tripping. Man, I was like, man, what is this man's name again? But anyway, he did the same thing, y'all. He would have his defense, and I'm like, oh my gosh, put more at the point of contact. But luckily, by week 8, they start doing it. Then we stop getting blown out by 50, 60 points every week. They finally start doing it. But I'm glad they at least adjusted, recognizing what you don't have on the D-line and basically putting in a scheme that's going to challenge the run game more. Now, I did put our corners on the island, but that's where Nick Needham kind of made his name too. And I like that. Something emerged out of that. So it's the linebacking core, guys. I really don't know how good some of these guys can be if they only had to worry about their responsibility. Understand that. With this team right now, that's what y'all got to remember. That's the big picture for the whole team. We really can't understand how good some guys can be because they've never had to worry about just their assignment. They've had to overcompensate in so many ways. We need you to do your role, but keep an eye out for this or the backside because we're weak over there. We need you to do your role, but we want you to be able to, if you see this happen, plug that every time, even if it exposes your role. A lot of that had to go down. When you got deficiencies all over the roster, because then when everybody actually does their job and you're still getting beat up and losing, is because you're outmanned or have the wrong scheme. And I can tell y'all now, in a lot of cases, we didn't have the wrong scheme. We were just outmanned last year, early in the season. But they did change scheme to try to mask some of it. That's why I know this coaching staff is good. They know what to do. Now, imagine they get the right personnel and what they're trying to do. The sky is the limit, man. The sky is the limit. That's why I'm not so quick to give up on Jerome Baker at all. I want to see him not have to worry about other responsibilities and different things like that. Everybody got their role. We shall see. We shall see, man. But that's our team. That's our team in a nutshell, man. That's what we need. We still got a lot of work to do. And we're still subtracting. We're still subtracting, but I promise you the subtractions will slow down. You might have one or two more, but they will slow down. Trust me, one more in Albert Wilson and then others that you won't miss sleep over anyway. Hopefully. Hopefully. Man, oh man, oh man. Interesting. I had a question for y'all, though. If a team came forward today and said they wanted to give us a first-round pick for Devontae Parker, would you do it? Right now. I want to give you our first-round pick this year, and it's number 13. Would you do it? Number 13 overall. Got your mind going, huh? Yes, no, yeah, yes, maybe, yes, Parker gone. Yep, yes, yes, hell no, yes, in a heartbeat, yes, hell yes, hell yeah, TD. I agree, TD. Flores is looking into the linebacker position because they still develop, especially McMillan and Baker, to see can they be the it guys. Yes, sir. Too many greats will be there. Listen, I can't believe we had so many yeses. Wow. Shout out to everybody who said no, man. I got to get on y'all yeses. Y'all would trade Devontae Parker for a first-round pick? Do you know what do we know what we have in Devontae Parker at this point? Did we get our answers? Put it in the comment section, yes or no. Did we get our answers on Devontae Parker? Do we know what we have in him now? Are we still guessing about Devontae Parker? No, we're not guessing. We know what we have in Parker now. We know. Remember, they'll probably cut Parker now. Instead, they give him a 2-year, $10 million deal. Because we banked on, we wrote a contract that said, we believe in you. Let's see what our coaching does to bring out what we believe you have. And it worked. You do have what we thought you had. Let's scratch this second year and give you a real deal. Same thing with Tannehill. We don't believe, so we're going to move on. And they were wrong. You get some right, you get some wrong. We know what we have in Parker now. You're going to trade that. I mean, the guy still has 3-4 good seasons in him at his age, and he's rested because of the injury issues of the past. He ain't take all the wear and tear everybody else is taking. You're going to replace that with a hopeful? Now, I can see if I said 2 first-round picks. I could see if I even said a first and a second. I might even consider a first and a third. I wouldn't do a first and a third, but I would consider it. But you don't trade one guy for a draft pick, one draft pick, just to hope you replace it the right way. Just to hope you replace it the right way. What, you think you're going to draft a receiver that's going to produce better than it, Parker? You got to understand, if Parker continues this level of play, it'll be Pro Bowl level. And you automatically think you're going to draft at number 13 a wide receiver who's going to do that? Yeah, it's a whole bunch of guys you can name that he might do it, he might do it. Remember that word might, but you got a guy that you know that's capable of doing it. NFL experience. Still fresh. Don't have high mileage due to early injuries. I couldn't do that. It just was brought up by someone and they were arguing why they would with me. And I said, I just personally feel like I couldn't. No. Same guy you gave a prove it deal to? No. I'm not trading Devontae Parker. I know what I have in him now. And we're going to utilize that talent. You can't do that with everybody go in and guess. You cannot do that with everybody go in and guess that you can get better with him in the draft. We did what we did with Minkah because we had to. You think we wanted to take a first-round pick for Minkah? No. We wanted Minkah. We didn't want to trade Minkah for a first. We happy we got it, but we wanted Minkah. Minkah didn't want us, so move on. No. You don't do that, guys. Now you go into the draft this year. You select your wide receiver at 13. Do you know how many wide receivers go in the first round and never sniff even coming close to being Pro Bowl material? Do you know how little? There ain't a lot of elite wide receivers. Do y'all know that? There are some teams that have no elite wide receivers, just a whole bunch of decent ones. A whole bunch of decent ones. In the whole league, it's probably only 20 teams that got a really good, close to elite wide receiver. And a handful of teams got 3 teams probably got 2 of them. But outside of that, you can't find elite receivers. You just find good, reliable guys. The Albert Wilsons of the world. All those type of guys. Devontae Parker's on a trajectory to make a Pro Bowl, to start to be considered one of the elite guys that can go up and get it. And y'all think he done working on his body and his physical stature? Devontae, you're probably going to see some of the most polished years of his career for the next 2 to 3 years, if he don't get hurt. If he don't get hurt. So I get the injury concern as well. But if you're going to have that concern, then you make him play out the second year of his 2-year deal to begin with. Obviously, we didn't have that concern. Obviously, Gase was sidelining the man when he wasn't even hurt. Gase was sidelining Parker when he wasn't even hurt, to the point to where his agent had to come out and defend him and say, my client is ready to play right now. Adam Gase is lying. And the very next week, Gase was forced to play him because, the cat out the bag, and he put up 140-something yards, 2 touchdowns or something like that. Y'all remember that? I got to get out of here, y'all. I got to take care of some business, but thank y'all for tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I'll be back to y'all soon with some more information, guys, but I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon, guys. Peace.